Levarme la moustache en la camucha. Siento patanilo, mira tacatiki puletica. Siento patanilo, mira tacatiki puletica. Siento patanilo, mira tacatiki puletica. Siento patanilo, mira tacatiki tacatiki. Siento patanilo, mira tacatiki puletica. Siento patanilo, mira tacatiki puletica. Siento patanilo, mira tacatiki puletica. Sani levarme la moustache en la camucha.
What's going on? This is your man John Fortune, your host of the Frustrated Fan Sports Show. And of course, I'm supposed to be here with my player evaluations. I'm still working on that, but I had to make this video because today I was hearing a whole lot today about quarterbacks and Washington drafting a quarterback or signing a quarterback and everything of that such nature. And I'm going to say this because I think that a lot of people are missing the point of me saying certain things and of what other people are saying. But let me explain something to y'all is in as simple as a way that I can. It is not in Ron Rivera's best interest to draft a quarterback. His coaching staff as a whole has never developed a quarterback. Now, somebody reached out to me and left one of the comments in one of the videos saying that, oh no, Ken Zampese actually did develop guys. Ken Zampese was in St. Louis and in Green Bay at the time that Mike Holmgren was there and Andy Reid was there. And during that time period, Brett Favre came through, Kurt Warner came through, Mark Brunell came through, Aaron Brooks came through. All those different quarterbacks came through. Tim Hasselbeck came through. But what most people are tending to forget is that during that time, Ken Zampese was not a quarterbacks coach. The quarterbacks coaches of those Green Bay teams was Andy Reid and Mike McCarthy. Those were the quarterback coaches of that time. Then he went to St. Louis. At St. Louis, he was not a quarterbacks coach. He was a receivers coach. He was not a guy. He's never developed a quarterback. Now, the problem everybody's having is because everybody's confusing him with his dad, Ernie Zampese, who actually did develop quarterbacks. But we're talking about Ken Zampese, the son. So with that, people need to understand this. The only thing that will work for Ron Rivera is a veteran quarterback. That's it. That's the only thing that's going to save him. Because, again, like I said, you're talking about any quarterback that comes here is going to probably have to play immediately if it's not going to be Taylor Heinicke. So you got to understand that there are certain things that happens that in the grand scheme of it all, it's not in Ron Rivera's best interest to develop anybody. Now, I will say this. The only way I could understand them drafting a quarterback is if Pep Hamilton is here. By the way, he's available. Ron will have to fire Scott Turner and fire Ken Zampese and bring in Pep Hamilton, who, by the way, has a history of developing young quarterbacks. A history that dates all the way back to when he was with the Jets. Guess what? Guess who was one of his quarterbacks that he was trying to help develop but didn't get enough time in New York to develop? Guess who it was? Cliff Kingsbury. Yeah, the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. That's one of his guys. So is Andrew Luck. So is Justin Herbert. So is Davis Mills. So guess what? He has a nice track record of developing quarterbacks. Now, Ron made a mistake from the moment he got here. Okay? When Ron got here, the first thing he did was bring on Scott Turner and didn't retain Kevin O'Connell. That was stupid. Then on top of that, he didn't really back Dwayne Haskins like he needed to. Again, you're talking about if he would have sat up there and kept Kevin O'Connell on and actually backed Dwayne Haskins, understand that we're talking about a different perspective at this point. Because everybody is quick to sit up here and say, well, Dwayne ruined it for Dwayne. No, he didn't. Because guess what? We didn't see Dwayne doing all this stuff when he was out there playing and starting. In fact, he looked like a better quarterback when Kevin O'Connell was the offensive coordinator. But guess what? Kevin O'Connell was also the quarterback's coach, and he's a former NFL quarterback. So he understood the hiccups and the things that Dwayne Haskins was having, along with, guess what? Developing him. Then all of a sudden you bring in a coaching staff that has no history of development when it comes to a young quarterback, and we thought he was going to be a success? We really thought Dwayne Haskins was going to be a success? Think about the track record of all the guys that are in the NFL that are backups that actually came from Carolina. Their most successful guy, out of all the guys that they had, their most successful guy is Matt Moore. Yes, Matt Moore. The perennial backup guy is the guy that they can basically hang their hat on. Kyle Allen isn't that good. Taylor Heineke is okay. But again, we're talking about trying to bring in a young quarterback after they destroyed Dwayne Haskins, because you can say whatever you want to say. But guess what? At the end of the day, they didn't develop him well enough. They didn't even encourage him enough to sit up there and make him succeed. How many of us all said you only gave him 4 games? 4 games. That's all he got was 4 games. And you don't think that his confidence was jacked up and screwed up prior to that? 4 games. That's all he was given. And then he went to the bench. He wasn't acting out for the sake of acting out. He was acting out because of the fact that they didn't believe in him. And you guys are supposed to think that this staff can develop a guy? Are you kidding me right now? Like I said, the only way I support them bringing in a rookie quarterback or drafting a quarterback is if Pep Hamilton is here. If Pep Hamilton is here, if Bill O'Brien is here, one of these guys who knows how to develop quarterbacks is here. But if you ain't going to bring one of those guys in, then guess what? Don't waste our time and draft the guy. Because guess what? If he falters in year 1, we need to find we need to fire Ron Rivera that same year and bring in somebody that knows how to develop quarterbacks. Because everybody can talk all the trash that they want about how awful Dwayne Haskins was. But Dwayne Haskins, we all believed, all of us believed, from the last season that Dwayne Haskins was in, at the end of the 2019 season, we all felt that Dwayne Haskins had shown some progress to be the starter, which is why we were all okay with Washington drafting Chase Young. Because we already had our quarterback of the future on the team. But guess what? When you got a group of coaches not known for developing quarterbacks, that's what you get. I don't know how many times I have to say this. Cam Newton survived purely off of talent. He never developed into the quarterback he should have become. Never. And every time I hear discussion about us getting quarterbacks, it's always the same stupid cast-offs. Derek Carr, Mitchell Trubisky, who's the other guy? Derek Carr, Mitchell Trubisky, what's the other guy? Shit, I can't think of the other guy's name. But every time we turn around, it's always everybody's cast-off. It's always everybody's cast off. Then Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater isn't going to work here because you know why? Teddy Bridgewater fit exactly what Sean Payton was doing down in New Orleans. So you know he's coming back. Not only that, what quarterback, again, the only quarterback that works here is a veteran quarterback that can step in and start playing immediately. And in all reality, that guy may only be somebody like a Tyrod Taylor. And we know how prone to injury he is. But again, why is everybody so intent on thinking that Ron has to draft a quarterback? But guess what? He's still not going to develop him. His staff is still not going to develop him. Understand, look at the track record, people. Look at the track record of their quarterbacks. Taylor Heineke is one of their quarterbacks. Kyle Allen is one of their quarterbacks. These two guys are guys they developed, and they still brought in Ryan Fitzpatrick. They still brought in Ryan Fitzpatrick, and these two guys are guys that they developed. And how many of y'all were complaining about Taylor? I told y'all, he's not the best quarterback, but he's the best quarterback for this offense. Because he knew the dang offense. Same thing applies to Kyle Allen. We saw Kyle Allen in one game, and he was the slowest thing out there running. What did y'all expect? Did y'all think we were going to get more from a coaching staff that has shown that they can't develop a quarterback? Again, it's not even in Ron's best interest to basically draft a quarterback, because guess what? Because his coaching staff doesn't develop a quarterback, he's going to fail. And maybe all this time I've been looking at this whole thing incorrectly. Maybe Ron didn't come here actually to coach Washington, but came here to actually submit his retirement plan. And I know that's going to shake a lot of people. Oh, why would a coach do that? Why wouldn't a coach do that? Understand this. If I get $25 million and all I got to do is basically coach as well as I can, even though I may not really care about coaching, or I bring in ragtag people. Because understand this, you telling me that there was nobody out there better than Jack Del Rio that was currently in the NFL that he couldn't bring on? That's a lie. You telling me that there wasn't any other offensive coordinator with a track record of winning and developing quarterbacks that he couldn't bring on? You telling me that? You telling me that there isn't a defensive. In fact, we had one here that he could have just kept on staff in Jim Tomsulo. So you telling me there wasn't another guy out there he couldn't have set up there and kept as a defensive line coach? Huh? You telling me he couldn't do that? Or how about a better linebackers coach? How about that? You couldn't find any former linebackers out there, even some of those former Chicago Bear linebackers. I'm pretty sure that there's somebody out there that would have been happy to take the job. But that is why I say what I say. They're not going to develop a young quarterback. All we're going to do is be drafting him. And then you talking about if he gets 2 years in this offense and under these coaches, he's going to be 2 years behind everyone else. Everyone else. Justin Herbert was drafted in the same draft as Dwayne Haskins. Guess who got him ready? Pep Hamilton. Pep Hamilton got him ready. That's who. And that, again, you're talking about, this is what I'm talking about. Pep Hamilton was out of the league after he was coaching Justin Herbert, got back into the league, and guess what? Produced another winner. Set up there and developed another quarterback to the point where the Texans feel that they're fine with trading away Deshaun Watson now because they got Davis Mills. So again, I'm going to keep saying exactly what I'm going to say, and a lot of y'all can feel however y'all want to feel. But guess what? If we draft a quarterback, understand, he's going to fail here. The quarterback will fail here. And the reason he'll fail here is because we don't have the intelligence or the understanding of how to develop a quarterback in our coaching ranks. Ken Zampese is not the answer. Neither is Scott Turner. And until Ron gets that, then guess what's going to happen? At the end of the day, all we're doing is sitting up in here drafting a guy just for him to be a backup. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Because at the end of the day, I'm telling y'all, unless they go out there and get Pep Hamilton to come up in here and Ron gets rid of Scott Turner and Ken Zampese, we're not gonna have a good quality young quarterback here unless Ron gets fired the following year. So if Ron don't make that drastic change, no matter who shows up here, it's not gonna be good. He's gonna have no choice but to go to the veteran quarterback route. And 9 times out of 10, he's gonna have to overpay for that. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Are y'all okay with Washington drafting a quarterback, understanding that Scott Turner and Ken Zampese, neither who've developed quality quarterbacks, would more than likely be here when it comes time to sit up here and draft a youngin'? Y'all tell me what y'all think. I personally think that it would be stupid. I think it's not in Ron's best interest to draft a quarterback because he's already talking about the fact that he knows he got to turn his team around next year. So that means he's going to be making even more mistakes come next year. So I'm telling y'all, at this point now, Ron just has to look at this as nothing more than his retirement plan. This has been your man, John Fortune, and this has been the Frustrated Fan Sports Show.